Hey, everybody. Welcome to MFSN The Hub. It is Thursday, 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific here in MFSN land. And we are preparing you for the 2025-26 fantasy football draft. Today, we're going to talk running backs. And who knows running backs better than Ross the Boss? So, Ross, say hi to everybody.
Hey, everybody. I'm Ross the Boss. And yes, we're talking fantasy football 2025 running back style and who you should draft, who should not draft, who are some sleepers and who are some busts. Yeah, we'll have all the answers for you. So stay tuned and listen to our input.
Well, normally we have Dr. Dan with us, but he is spending time with his family, much deserved. So we're going to try to hold the fort down without him. One of the things we always talk about with ranking players are tiers, right? And so how many you have tier 1 players, tier 2 players, tier 3 players. Sometimes you can go all the way down to tier 5 or 6, depending on how deep your draft is. And with running backs, it's no different. So Ross, how many running backs do you have in that first tier?
You're going to laugh. You're going to say I'm crazy, but I have 3. Yeah, name them 3 players that are top 1 tier. I can't wait to hear your 4. I can't wait to go off.
I have 4, but 2 of them are in my
too many, but keep going.
But 2 of them are in the bust category of me. So,
I love
it. But I think I think there are 4 running backs, unless you're in some kind of unique league that will go in the first 12 to 15 picks of the draft. And so I put those 4 in the first tier. So Ross, I'll let you lay the foundation. Who are your tier 1 running backs?
Now, my number 1 guy, I'll go in order of my favorite guy. He had so much, when a player gets this many handoffs and this much usage, the next year he usually drops. But I'm going to say he keeps going is Saquon Barkley. Shawan Barkley. Did I say it right? Saquon Barkley. He was just amazing last year. And his offensive line is one of the best in NFL. And they'll be probably, I would say at halftime, they'll be winning probably 80% of their games, which means the running game will be going on a lot. And I think he's going to have a good year, a great year. I don't know if I'll match last year, but I got to keep him number 1. As much as I want to say other people, I can't do it. I can't say he's not going to be the number 1 back next year. Number 2, that was a tough one, but I'm going to go off a little bit. I'm going to say Jahmyr Gibbs of the Detroit Lions. I just think with his age and what he did last year, and I know they have a new offensive coordinator. Ben Johnson is gone. Went to Chicago, but I feel Gibbs will have a huge year, and I just like him a lot there. Number 3, I'm going to say it, and I hate saying it, but McCaffrey is going to – I mean, he has a chance to be the number 1 running back in the NFL this year. He really does. I mean, he's that good. As much as I don't want to take him, if he's available, I might. But McCaffrey's my 3rd one, and I know I'm missing somebody big. I know you think I'm crazy, but I'll give you a whole reason why I don't like him after you go, because I know he's on your list. But those are my top tier 1 picks.
All right. Well, before I give you mine, we have Ryan Santoro just sent us a message. Hey, Ryan, thanks for listening. In a nutshell, would you send ETN and Chris Olave for Bucky Irving in a 10-team dynasty league?
Yes. I'll tell you why. Olave has no quarterback. I could play quarterback for the Saints. That's how bad they're going to be this year. The Saints will be lucky to win 4 games. Olave is going to have a problem getting the ball this year. It's going to be really tough for him. And ETN, is he even in the league still? I mean, he's like invisible. I mean, he probably won't be drafted in but I bet 50% of the leagues won't even draft him. That's how much he dropped down.
Yeah. I don't disagree with you, Ross. I have a little different take on it, though. I would probably do the trade because Bucky Irving is the best dynasty prospect of those 3 players. Yeah. But it's a dynasty. And so Chris Olave is not going to have Tyler Slough or whoever as his quarterback for more than a year. And they'll probably try, if they have a top pick next year, they'll have a much better quarterback. But
Arch Manning, Arch Manning. Yeah, go on.
But he has those concussion issues too, and one more blow to the head, and he could be out of the league forever.
Yeah.
I have ETN, not to get ahead of ourselves. I have him as one of my favorite sleepers this year. And the reason I say that is because of their new coach, Liam Cohen. He runs that outside zone running scheme and has great blocking. And ETN fits his style to a T. So I think if he's ever going to have a good year, it would be this year. However, Bucky Irving is safer. He showed you what he can do his rookie season with Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay has aspirations of winning their division and advancing pretty far in the playoffs. And so the issue I have with Bucky Irving is with Rachaad White and some of the other running backs.
I forgot. Where did Rachaad White go to college? I totally forgot.
I forget too. I think it was BYU.
No, it was Arizona State, but keep going. Okay.
I worry he's not going to get much in the passing game, whereas ETN is the pass catching back for his team. So in a PPR, ETN's value is a little bit higher. But overall, Bucky Irving is the safest of those three. And in a dynasty league, especially a 10 team, getting the best player at the risk of losing two players for him is still worth it to me. So I would probably do that trade.
Yeah, I would stay away from any Saint player in fantasy football this year. I would not draft one of them. How about that?
All right. So my tier 1 is 4 players.
I know who they are, but keep going. Tell me.
And my number 1 is the one you didn't include, is Bijan Robinson. Yep. And I know you're going to have your rant about why he's not in that top tier, but I think this is a new offense. It's no longer Kirk Cousins. It's Michael Penix under there. They have Drake London as their only real viable wide receiver. Mooney got hurt. They don't know how much time. I don't remember how much time he's going to miss, but it's supposed to be something more meaningful than just a couple weeks. And who knows what you can get out of Kyle Pitts. The guy was a freak in college, first round pick, great his rookie year, and then it's been crickets. And so I think Bijan Robinson in a PPR league especially is just going to be a monster. I think his usage both in the running game and the passing game is huge. So I like Bijan a lot. Number 2, I put Jahmyr Gibbs there. I think he's proven what he can do. He's maybe the most electric. He and Devon Achane are the most electric running backs in the league in terms of kind of that quick twitch, disappear stuff. And I love watching him play, and he's done it consistently. Number 3 is Saquon. I'm a Penn State guy. I'm a Giants guy. I love Saquon. He's one of my favorite players. But look at what's happened to players the year after they got used as much as Saquon did. And I just worry. I mean, if anybody can push through the injury risks and the kind of flat tire that you see these players get after that year, Saquon is a physical freak and can probably do it. But my number 4 is example A in what can happen when you're overused in one year. And that's Christian McCaffrey. I love him. They lost Debo. He's not coming back. Ayuk is still hurt. I'm not sure when he's going to be healthy to play.
Like they say, like November Ayuk.
Okay. Juwan Jennings is good, but he's demanding a trade or a contract. George Kittle is a stud, but Christian McCaffrey is going to be the centerpiece with the caveat as long as he's healthy.
I know, but can we go rule for this show? No more saying if he's healthy, because it's obvious.
But when a player has missed an average of 5 or 6 or more games in multiple seasons,
it's a gamble.
But this isn't. These aren't roto leagues. It's not accumulation stats. In a roto style, he would be number 1 because in 9 or 10 games he can put up the points that most players put up in 15.
I get it.
But if those 4 or 5 games come during the playoffs, forget it. It's a waste.
Yeah.
So that's my top 4. That's my tier 1.
Love it.
But I agree with everything you've said. I just am higher on Bijan than you. You're tier 2. I'm going to do tier 2 first because I know your number 4 is going to be Bijan. So we'll skip it. 5. I have 3 in tier 2. I have the rookie Ashton Jeanty. I know he hasn't run.
He hasn't played one snap yet. All of a sudden you have him in tier 2. That's amazing. Because I appreciate it, but keep going.
He's going to be ridden hard, no pun intended, the whole season by the Raiders.
Yeah.
He's going to be their number one option in the run game, and they're going to rely on it. And then he's going to be their probably number 2 or 3 option in the pass game behind Bowers. And so like the volume is going to be there. Most running backs are at their best those first 2 or 3 years in the league. And so I believe he's awesome. Number 6 is the ageless wonder. I keep wanting to list him as a bust or drop him out of my top 8. Derrick Henry is just different. He's just built different. He doesn't need the pass catching game to put the numbers up that he puts up. I think if he was a better receiver or more utilized out of the backfield in PPR leagues, he'd probably be number 2 or 3 on the team. And then number 7 is the guy who I listed just as electric as Jahmyr Gibbs, and that's Devon Achane. I don't trust Miami that much this year in terms of how effective they'll be, but we've seen what this guy can do with 10 touches in the game. He can put up 100 yards and a touchdown with 10 touches. So I love that upside, and he's a running back 1 for me.
I like it. And my tier 2, Bijan will be there. He's my top guy in the tier 2. Reason I have him tier 2, Atlanta's going to be down a lot. Their defense is horrible. They'll be down. They'll be forced to pass. Bijan's role will be he can catch the ball, but they're not going to be running the ball as much as they usually do. Bijan's his offensive line in Atlanta is mediocre as best. But I do have him tier 2. I think he'll have a good year. I just don't think he'll be as good as the tier 1 guys. Of course, Derrick Henry's 32 years old, I want to say. And, Lamar Jackson does run the ball. So Lamar likes to run. So he'll lose some reps there. But overall, I think Derrick Henry, tier 2, very strong. And then my third guy, you're going to think I'm crazy, but I'm going to take Josh Jacobs of Green Bay. I just think that Green Bay loves to run the ball. Rosa Tundra of Green Bay in the middle of November, they love to run. They really do, and their offensive line is really good. And he's going to have a good year this year, and that whole Green Bay offense is about running the ball. They do pass. I do like Love as a passer, but I think the run game comes first, and I just like Jacobs. I just like Jacobs there, and he's
fair enough.
And he's just somebody I like. And after that, let's just say that's my tier 2. I'll just get 3 players.
Right. So now go over tier 3 for me. I like your list. I have Jacobs in tier 3 a little bit lower just because
that's fine.
I don't see the consistency.
No, the whole thing, let me just remind the audience, Casey and I might disagree, but the whole thing about fantasy football is this: there is luck involved. Players staying healthy, like we talked about before.
And as Ross has said many times over the years, in these 12-team, 10, 12, 14-team leagues where everybody has access to unlimited information about how different people rank or how the projections are, you sometimes need to take a risk in a draft and draft somebody higher than other people might because you're looking to gain an advantage. And the only advantage is not to follow the same formula everybody else follows.
Exactly.
So having a different formula, it's risky, right? Because you could fail with it. But if you take the calculated risks at the right places, that's what gives you the edge to beat everybody.
I like that philosophy, and going against the grain is always a good thing to do in anything, any gambling situation, which is anything fantasy wise. If you're going against the grain, I think you have a better chance to winning, just because a lot of people don't go the same direction. Everybody goes the same direction. They're all Googled these lists, and they all go by the list, but it's been that one person that's a chance taker that wins it all. So that all being said, Casey, keep going.
Tier 3 for me, I actually went through 12 players because I have 5 people in tier 3.
I love it.
I have at number 8, the guy we talked about to Ryan. I have Bucky Irving. He did it last year as a rookie. He's earned the trust. He was getting the most carries for them in the later weeks of the season, and even into the playoffs, he carried the bulk of the workload. So they trust him in big moments. So I think he's going to see the field a lot early on. Hope if he gets more involvement in the passing game, I think he was only like 4% or something ridiculously 4%. Low. he could actually go into that tier 2 for me. I think he's that good.
I like that.
Number 9, I just think he's fully healthy and people are underestimating him, as Jonathan Taylor. This guy was the number 1 back in fantasy for a couple years. Some injuries slowed him down, some shaky offensive development with quarterbacks and offensive line played a role in there too. From what I've heard when looking at camp notes, he's fully healthy. And with Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson under center, a healthy Jonathan Taylor, I think, is going to be leaned on a lot. And I could see him finishing in that tier 2 also, although because the last few years have been shaky, I haven't been tier 3. Your boy for the Cincinnati Bengals, Houday, Chase Brown. I mean, again, the last 5 weeks of the season, he was averaging close to 18 or 19 fantasy points per game because they realized what talent they had. And then they let Mixon leave in the offseason because they want to make Chase Brown the primary back for them. They don't have a lot behind him. I know they drafted somebody in like the 5th round, but there's not much behind him. So he's going to get the bulk of the work. Now, I know Cincinnati's a pass-heavy offense with Joe Burrow and those 2 wide receivers, but I still think Chase Brown is going to get 15 carries a game and a couple catches a game. And if he can do that, he can easily finish as a top 10 running back. Number 11 is, you just talked about, Josh Jacobs. As much as I don't believe he's tier 2, he's not as old as people think. I think he's 26 or 27.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of tread on his tires. I don't know how good Green Bay's defense is going to be, although they addressed it in the offseason, adding a couple defensive backs. I'm blanking on the names, but I know they got some big names back there. They might be in close games where they just pound the rock. And so Josh Jacobs is that guy if you're doing that. And then number 12, I put him on here only because I can't get away from him. He's been a disappointment. He was picked 1.1 in dynasty drafts his rookie year as Breece Hall of the Jets. But I can't fully defend having him on tier 3, but I put him there because I still believe talent wins out, and we know how much talent the kid has.
Yeah, Breece Hall's stock has plummeted.
It's plummeted. You can probably get him in the
he was like
6th round.
Last year he was a 1st round pick, if I remember right. I mean, now he's like 4th or 5th.
Well, the emergence of Braylon Allen, the backup kid who did so well,
I know,
has taken even more shine off of him.
Yeah.
But we've seen what he can do when he's healthy.
So I don't want to repeat the same names, but somebody that you didn't mention who for some reason fantasy players just don't respect him. And every year he's been with the Rams, he's been really good. Over 1,000 yards. He's there at the goal line. He's there for long runs. He catches the ball. Is Karen Williams. I mean, this guy is just a fantasy machine, and people just don't respect him. And you did not mention him in tier 3. I mean, he almost made my tier 2. I mean, I love this guy, and he's a fantasy steal. I mean, he's going to be somebody. I'm not even putting him in sleeper. He's not even a sleeper for me. He's just like, if he's available in the 3rd round or 4th round, I might take him just because he's that good. And he gets no respect in the fantasy world at all. Achane, I like him at Miami. I just feel the offensive line from Miami is really not that great. That scares me there. But I do think he has a lot of talent. He's electric, like you said.
And did they address backup quarterback at all?
I think it's Bob Greasy. No, I have no idea. I mean, I don't know who it is. I have no idea who it is.
I'm looking it up because I mean, Tua's a stiff breeze away. Zach Wilson is their backup, and then they have the rookie Quinn Ewers out of Texas as their 3rd string.
Now, let me just mention a few more running backs that I feel that get no respect that you should draft 5th, 6th round. James Conner.
So these are your value picks?
Value, but also not much. I have some other value picks, but just guys tier 3, tier 4 guys, let's say. James Conner of Arizona, I feel, is undervalued. This guy is just a machine when he gets the ball, 100 yards, touchdown. If he plays, and I think he's that good. Of course, get his handcuff Benson. I think Benson, the guy from Florida State, I think he'll have a good year this year.
Yeah, he didn't do much last year. That's why
I
he
know he
didn't make the list.
didn't get much snaps. Chuba Hubbard of Carolina. You're saying, Ross, you like a guy from Carolina? Yeah, I think they'll improve a little bit. But Hubbard showed a lot of promise last year. He had some big, huge games.
Yeah, I mean, he was a top 5 running back at points.
Yeah, I mean, Chuba Hubbard, because he's at Carolina, people don't want to draft him.
Chuba.
But I like Chuba a lot. And because I'm in LA and this guy's, no one's talking about him, but he's going to be there in the 6th, 7th round, is Omarion Hampton.
I actually think he'll go early.
You think so? See, I don't think he will, but I do like him. He's on the. I mean, I have him tier 3. I think this guy. I don't think.
Did he play was the Hall of Fame game? Did it happen
tonight? And they're not playing starters. He probably won't even play. And Najee Harris was signed by the Chargers during the offseason, but he is not practicing. I think he's holding out. I want to say, or he's hurt. One of the two. But
do you know who's starting at quarterback for the Chargers?
Dr. Dan Ratner?
No.
Who?
Trey Lance.
It's smart he's doing that. He needs the practice. He doesn't play at all during the season. And he plays for the Chargers, or who's he?
Yeah, he's now the backup at the Chargers. He was with the Cowboys last year.
I remember that. I remember the Cowboys. Didn't they trade for him or something? Yeah. So those are some tier 3, tier 4 guys. It's so funny. You and I just dropped Joe Mixon like a rock. And
yeah. Also, he's hurt at the start of the season. Right now, he's not practicing.
He'll be back.
And it depends, like, who's his backup? There's 2 decent backups, and Dameon Pierce.
Oh, he has Nick
Chubb.
Nick Chubb.
So if Nick Chubb gets off to a hot start, I mean, I know he's not the Nick Chubb of 2022 before his devastating knee injury, but that's a high-flying offense. If Nick Chubb proves to be such a reliable ball carrier, that's gonna make it hard for Mixon to be a workhorse. All right, so you named some sleepers. I'm going to name some people that you didn't as sleepers. Oh, by the way, my busts are McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley, because you have to spend a first-round pick on him, and I don't trust him to stay healthy. But so I'm not willing to take that risk, which means I'm missing out on a lot of upside. I understand that. And then also Kenneth Walker. Zach Charbonnet.
Which one? The third or the second?
The third. Third. Seattle had a bottom 5 offensive line last year and didn't do anything significant to upgrade it. And they have Sam Darnold as the new quarterback. They lost DK Metcalf. I don't know what to expect from that offense. And they also have Zach Charbonnet as his backup, who's a very, very good running back.
Charbonnet, so UCLA kid. I like.
There's a lot of factors that make spending the 3rd or 4th round pick on Kenneth Walker really scary to me. Okay, sleepers. I mentioned him earlier with ETN. I think he could have a much more surprising year than people are giving him credit for, because I think the new offense is going to be suited for him. They now have multiple wide receivers with Travis Hunter and Brian Thomas Jr. I think, and he's already the passing game running back. So I like that for them. You know what? J.K. Dobbins, he was really good for the Chargers last year. People don't remember that. And he just went to Denver, which is Sean Payton, the guru's offense, where they have a good quarterback, a good tight end, a good offensive line. I could see J.K. Dobbins keeping another one of my value picks, R.J. Harvey, from living up to some of the hype that he's getting this preseason as a rookie coming in. Tony Pollard in Tennessee. Hopefully Cam Ward can make that team a little more multi-dimensional, which gives Tony Pollard the ability to shine in what he does best, which is not be a workhorse back. If you remember, he was so good with the Cowboys because all the between the tackles work was going to Ezekiel Elliott, and he was just used as this kind of X player, this X factor player who could do the wide runs or go out into the slot or catch balls out of the backfield. So that's somebody I like a lot.
You
I'm
like
going
a
to name
lot.
another. What?
You like a lot. I like it.
I'm going to name another Arizona State guy, Cam
Yes.
Skattebo.
Scatterboo.
Besides the fact he's going to a team that doesn't have a trusted number one in Tyrone Tracy with the New York Giants, Cam Skattebo is probably the best receiving back out of this
Did you
draft.
see? I don't know if you watched it.
Yeah,
Did
the
you see him?
highlight catch he made
You know,
in
not even
in
that. Did you see him play in college when they played Texas in the playoff?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I
he was
mean,
insane. And he's not just your typical that's what I was going to say. He's not your typical third down running back who's slight of build and can't run between the tackles. He absolutely is a beast. He's strong. He's got a great low
there
center
you
of
go.
gravity and he's got excellent hands. Like I could see him becoming the number one for the Giants probably by week 3 or 4 of this season. And so, in that respect, super valuable. And then I listed the rookies.
Do
RJ
it.
Harvey, I mentioned him.
You like
Travion
Harvey?
Henderson. Travion Henderson is the only big play threat that the New England Patriots have. Ramondre Stevenson is probably the number one back to start the
Well,
season, but he's a
let me. There's a new regime in New England. Okay, there's a whole new regime.
sure.
And when the new regime comes in, they want to have their own little players, which Henderson fits that mold. So I think Stevenson will either be traded or be demoted to either second string or third string. I really think Henderson will be the first string running back, but keep going.
Right. And, and Henderson is the only home run threat they have. So
100%.
definitely in best ball drafts, I want him, but I even want him as a running back 3 or flex in regular fantasy too. And then the other one is Dylan Sampson in Cleveland. I mean, Quinshad Judkins was their big pickup to be their next running back, and he's not even signed yet because he's dealing
Nope.
with domestic violence charges. And we all know how long that stuff can drag out, and you can amazingly just miss a season. And Dylan Sampson had some smoke to him going into the draft. He was a good player in college. Jerome Ford is the only other running back really on the roster, and they drafted 2 running backs in the draft means they weren't a big fan of the idea of Jerome Ford being their lead back. And so I think Dylan Sampson is another one you can get late in the draft that can surprise. All right. Give me your sleepers that we didn't talk about yet. Is there
Okay,
anybody we haven't mentioned?
Isaiah Pacheco of the Chiefs. No one talks about it anymore. He's 1,000-yard running back. You can get him late, I think, in the draft. I like Pacheco a lot. Aaron Jones of Minnesota. I know they signed Mason as their backup also, but Aaron Jones, if you look at his stats, this guy's close to 1,000 yards. He'll touch the ball. He gets no press in Minnesota. You'll be able to draft him late in the rounds. Another guy that you can wait on and draft, and I wouldn't mind starting him every week. It's a guy I would start every week. I feel that he has more gas in the tank, and I really feel he'll have a good year. Another sleeper. You took my other sleeper, Cam Skattebo. Thanks. I wanted to.
Yeah, well, he's a giant. I know he's a Wildcat, and that's your team, but he's also a giant.
A team that relies on the run every year, and one of their running backs, Najee Harris, left. I know they still have Warren, but Warren is not your everyday. He comes in third downs. I mean, he's not like an everyday guy. Khalid Johnson, the rookie, who did not mention. I think Khalib's going to be 1,000-yard rusher and could have 6-7 touchdowns. I feel he's somebody that will be drafted mid-round because you have your Steeler fans out there. But again, Khalid Johnson, Pittsburgh's known for the running game. I know they have Aaron Rodgers. I know they signed DK Metcalf is over there too. But it doesn't matter. They love the run.
Yeah.
Johnson's going to be the guy. So if you
Caleb
want a guy,
Caleb Johnson was awesome at Iowa. He's a big guy. He's like 6'1", 220 something.
Big dude.
He can run through the tackles and he can run away from people as well. So it's a smart pick. I agree with it.
So I mean, basically, there's a lot of good running backs, and if you can't get somebody in our first tier, if tier 1 and maybe tier 2, maybe something there, there's no reason you can't wait and just get receivers, get the top tier tight end, and move on. But strategy-wise, there's a lot of good chance running backs you can grab, and if they come out and you have like a top tier receiver and a top tier 2 receiver, you could win your league.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think you have a better chance of picking a sleeper as a running back than a wide receiver, if that makes any
Yeah,
sense.
I think if I'm looking at in the first 6 rounds of a
Yep,
draft, I want 4 wide receivers by the end of those 6 rounds.
I agree. And you're talking about a league that starts 3 receivers or 2 receivers?
Well, 4 pass catchers. It could be 3 receivers and a tight end.
Okay, well, then
I
flex.
want to
Okay,
get, and then round 4 or 5, unless there's great value in 3 for a running back, I'm waiting until 4 or 5, maybe
I
even
like it.
6, because once you get past that second tier, there's not as much separation from waiting. It's kind of like what I feel about quarterbacks. If you miss out on one of those top 4 or 5 quarterbacks, I'm waiting probably
Okay,
till the 7th or 8th round. So it just depends.
tell me what running back's going to have the most points fantasy wise this year. Give me one person. Go.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
I'll take McCaffrey.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I'll take
Before we,
McCaffrey.
for those of you who are just here for the draft, I hope we provided you some information that will be helpful. We love hearing from you guys. Let us know if there's more you'd like to get to us. But before I get off, I'd be remiss. There were several trades at the MLB trade deadline that just happened that are
Good. Let's
pretty
hear.
significant. Carlos Correa is going back to the Astros.
Okay.
The Mets signed Cedric Mullins, traded for Cedric Mullins from the O's. The Yanks got
Yep.
David Bednar from
Who
the
did?
Pirates,
Who did?
the Yankees. And then
Okay.
the Tigers got Finnegan from the Nationals for their bullpen. Those are the kind of the last big ones that happened before the
Okay.
deadline. There might be a couple more, but I just wanted to mention them.
I
Carlos
like
Correa
it.
is
I like
going
you're
home.
on top of the news.
Oh.
Was Aaron Judge traded or not?
He was.
Oh, okay. Not big
Yeah.
deal. Okay, good.
But it wasn't
Okay,
in baseball. All right, guys. Thank you very much. We'll be back next week on Tuesday, 4:00 Eastern, 1:00 Pacific, with another baseball waiver wire show. And then next Thursday, we will do a 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 Pacific waiver wire show. And then at 4:00, it'll be Ross and I again giving you. We're probably going to push it out more than 10 for our wide receivers. I think we should
we'll probably do
20
more
wide.
for wide receivers.
We might do 20 wide receivers. It might be a little bit longer, but we gotta give you the names you need to know going into the draft.
So real quick, Casey, is your number one receiver play in the Midwest near the Ohio River
and probably enjoys chili covered with cheddar cheese?
Carolina chili. Okay. Is that your number one case? Okay, good.
That is. Yeah, I'm a big fan of T. Higgins. All right, guys. Have a good day. I will see you guys next week. Ross, thanks again.